What's up guys, Mike here, and yes, the title you just saw is real. Welcome to the second edition of Meet a Young NBA Player, aka an NBA star with a 40-inch vertical. Now, I understand the first video I did like this is a complete meme at this point, but with that said, this video is going to be a story of redemption. But before we even get into this video, I know what you're thinking. Instead of just asking you to trust me here, I'm going to give you some quotes from NBA stars who believe in Lowry as much as me. Let's start with Steph Curry, who said, "He's an amazing talent that's brought an extremely unique skill set. I think at his height and size, to be able to put it on the floor and be able to shoot the way he does and score in a lot of different ways. And he's only going to continue to get better. He's going to be a force to reckon with as he goes through his career." Moving on to Blake Griffin, quote, "He's unbelievably skilled. You can see that right away. That combined with his size makes him special. Once he really gets the physicality and the angles of the game down, he's going to be trouble for a long time." And for the man this video is based around, Dirk Nowitzki has said Lowry is really good. I didn't know he was really that athletic. He shoots it easy, can move his feet, can play above the rim. He's going to be great for a long time. And when comparing Lowry to Kristaps Porzingis, Dirk would say this kid has got the same upside. And he'd finish with, again, he's gonna be great for a long time. So guys, as you can see, the theme here seems to be pretty simple. A lot of people think Lauri Markkanen is going to be a star. A lot of people think he's going to be great for a long time. And the thing is, take a look at this picture. Lowry's head is at the rim here. Also, if we look at his hands here, we can see that the tops of his fingers clearly go well above the rectangle on the backboard. He also can shoot the basketball, so again, I am much more confident in this prediction. I think you guys will be much more confident too. Enough with this intro, let's get into the video. Here is why Lauri Markkanen is Dirk Nowitzki with a 40-inch vertical. When we look at Lauri Markkanen's upbringing and early life at home, it is very clear that the man was born to play the game of basketball. And going even further, it was also clear that he was gifted with the elite level genes required to truly develop into a star. His dad played college basketball for Kansas. His mom was a member of Finland's women's national basketball team. His one brother is a professional soccer player, and his other brother, well, he played professional basketball until injuries cut his career short. So again, as you can see, Lauri Markkanen was born with elite level genes, but as we've seen many times before, just because you have the natural talent to become a basketball star does not mean that you have the work ethic to realize your potential. The thing is though, if you ask anyone who's ever been close to Lowry, you will soon find out that the man will do anything to become great. This work ethic was instilled in him at a very young age, as his father remembers that when Lowry was only 10 years old, he, quote, was practicing something like 4.5 hours a day. And soon his family would also see the toughness and determination that Lowry has demonstrated time and time again in his basketball career so far. As just 4 hours before a youth basketball game, Lowry was in the emergency room, but that did not matter to him. What mattered was that he had a game to play, and so, despite the fact that he was in the ER just hours before, Lowry would refuse to sit out and went on to compete because, in his mind, there really was no other option. Born into a house full of professional athletes, competition was all Lowry knew. And he recalls, quote, "Having two older brothers who wanted to beat me every time made me hungry. It was that hunger to be the best in his family that drove him. All that mattered to a young Lowry was the desire to become something special. And it was his dad who gave us perhaps the best insight into Lowry's mindset growing up. As his father has said, I think Lowry is special. All our kids have a professional aptitude for sport, but I have never met a person who is so focused on one thing. Whatever he does, what he eats, when he sleeps, he always thinks how it affects his basketball." And going even further here, Lowry's obsession to become great was so overwhelming that it even tired his dad out. Now remember, his dad is a former professional basketball player, but he has also said of Lowry, quote, "He's so special, whatever he does, he only thinks about basketball. Sometimes I get tired of that. It's like, can we we talk about something else. This type of work ethic and focus is extremely rare and is also the #1 trait I look for when looking at potential young stars in the NBA. The drive to become truly great is what separates those that had talent but didn't make it and those that have talent, work on that talent, and eventually become stars. It is this type of work ethic that led Lowry to incredible success as he grew older. As in the summer of 2015, playing in the FIBA U18 European Championships, Lowry would lead the entire competition in points per game while also shooting 54% from the field. It was at this time that, after watching Lowry, an NBA scout would say, quote, "He's a really good athlete, can run, fluid, can really shoot, made some shots at the U18 that had some Dirk to them. He has unusually good footwork and nimbleness for a big." But headed into the 2017 NBA draft, the disrespect on Lowry's name could not have been any bigger. Sure, he was seen as a lottery pick, but despite this, it seemed like none of the top scouting services truly believed in Lowry. NBA.com had Lowry's NBA comparison as Ryan Anderson. NBADraft.net had Lowry's comparison as Nikola Mirotic or Ryan Anderson. And ESPN's Chad Ford, in his final mock draft, said that Lowry, quote, "gets this year's annual Channing Frye comparison," which, in my opinion, made it seem like no one even watched Lowry play at Arizona, because if these scouts had, they clearly would have seen that he was way more athletic than someone like Ryan Anderson and that his offensive game was way more versatile. But the thing is though, while scouting services did not love Lowry, other big names around the league were more than convinced. Because looking back at Lowry's workout with the Mavericks, future Hall of Fame coach Rick Carlisle recalls that, quote, and wait for this because it is a great one, Markkanen had as good a pre-draft workout, I should say individual workout, as I've ever seen. He shot the ball phenomenally well. I've never seen a guy as efficient with shot making from both mid-range and long range in a workout. That is one of the best coaches in the NBA saying that Lauri Markkanen had the greatest workout he had ever seen. Again, in my opinion, I have no idea why scouts were sleeping on Lowry. At the time, I thought the Bulls had gotten a steal, and now that Lowry has played in almost 2 NBA seasons, we can obviously see that his potential ceiling is more along the lines of Dirk Nowitzki than the comparison scouts made to guys like Ryan Anderson and Nikola Mirotic. And when we look at this Dirk comparison, I know we hear it a lot, but I do think it fits Lowry very well. Just looking at their careers, both entered the NBA as 20-year-olds. Both were top 10 picks, both were traded by the teams that took them, and both were international big men that were known for their jump shots. With that said, as rookies, we can already see that Lowry had an obviously better first season in the league than Dirk. As in his rookie year, Dirk only averaged 8.2 points and 3.4 rebounds a game, while making just 0.3 three-pointers a night on 20% shooting. Those numbers show us that despite his reputation as perhaps the best shooting 7-footer of all time, Dirk struggled to adjust to the NBA three-point line, at least at first. As for Lowry, well, he did not have the same issues. In Lowry's rookie season, he exceeded every expectation that had been placed on him on the way to averaging 15.2 points and 7.5 rebounds a game, while also making 2.1 threes a game on over 36% shooting from deep. He also just happened to set the record for fastest time to make 100 three-pointers in their NBA career. And moving forward to year 2, again, a second-year Dirk Nowitzki was outperformed by a second-year Lauri Markkanen, as these numbers show. But I know, as they say, numbers do not always tell the full story. The thing is though, if we dig deeper here, we find that Lowry's second season in the league has been even more impressive than most people think. The reason I say this is that headed into his second season, Lowry suffered an unfortunate elbow injury that kept him off the court until the Bulls' 24th game. This meant, of course, that when he returned, it was expected that there would be some rust in Lowry's game, and there was. In his first 20 games back, he averaged just 16.5 points and 7.1 rebounds a game, as he got his his footing back. Once he had regained his stamina though, Lowry's potential really began to show, because in his next 25 games, despite a hip injury that has slowed him down a little, Lowry has put up 21.4 points and 10.9 rebounds a game while knocking down 2.6 threes a night. These numbers are not just good, these numbers do not just indicate a future potential star, these numbers are actually pretty historic, because if Lowry were to average over 20 points and 10 rebounds a game while also making over 2 threes a night for an entire season, he would become just the 4th player to ever put up those stats, joining a list that includes Russell Westbrook, DeMarcus Cousins, and Kevin Love. And just looking at Lowry's game in general, sure, he might not have exactly a 40-inch vertical, but like I said before, 1, this picture makes it seem like he's very close, and 2, the exact number of his vertical leap doesn't really matter here. The main thing you should take away from this video is that Lauri Markkanen is both way more athletic than most people give him credit for, and he also just so happens to have a versatile game that is perfect for the modern NBA. As we already know, the man was seemingly born to shoot a basketball, but he also has demonstrated a rare trait for big men with his impressive ability to put the ball on the floor and score off the dribble either at the rim or from mid-range off of pull-up jumpers. And going further, on top of his scoring, we've also seen that just by looking at his numbers this season, Lowry has already become a much improved rebounder, and while he currently is not the best defender in the NBA, the most important thing I take away when watching him is that it's very apparent he wants to improve on the defensive end. He's willing to put in the effort. He's the type of player that's willing to give it his all when he's on the court, and when he's off the court, it's his tremendous work ethic that's going to carry him. Headed into this season alone, Lowry had Bulls fans in awe the first time they saw him, as he had gained a shocking 14 pounds of muscle over the offseason. He also had clearly lowered his body fat, which has led to an even more explosive on-court product. So with all of this said, to wrap things up here, sure, at first glance, Lowry's comparison to Dirk Nowitzki, future Hall of Famer and top 25 basketball player of all time, might seem a little crazy to some people. I understand that. The thing about young players who happen to play for bad teams is that a lot of times they get overlooked, and for whatever reason, people feel the need to put a limit on these players' potential. To me, this is one of the most confusing trends in the NBA, because we've seen examples of players surpassing their supposed ceilings while becoming legitimate NBA stars time and time again. Nobody in the world looked at a second-year James Harden and said that one day he would average over 35 points per game in a season. Nobody watched 25-year-old Steve Nash average 8.4 points per game and said one day that man will become a 2-time MVP. And nobody thought that former 28th pick Tony Parker and former 57th pick Manu Ginobili would help lay the foundation for a San Antonio Spurs dynasty. For whatever reason, people love to put ceilings on basketball players, and it's because of this that some of you might still think that Lauri Markkanen has no chance to ever have the same type of success that Dirk Nowitzki had in the NBA. But like I said before, if there is one type of player I like to bet on, it's the guy who lives and breathes basketball. It's the guy that won't stop working until he achieves his dreams. Lauri Markkanen is that guy. Lauri Markkanen is the type of player you want to build a young team around. So guys, with that said, I know this title is going to cause some controversy, but I mean, I don't think I can do worse than my first attempt at a title like this, so I'm pretty confident that this will not become a full-on me. I believe in Lowry. I think he's going to be a star one day, and really, the only thing we can do now is wait and see what happens. With that said, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe for more basketball videos like this. On my channel, I tell NBA players stories. I look at NBA conspiracies. I do NBA what-ifs. Basically, what I'm saying is, if you love basketball, I think you'll love this channel, and I don't think you're gonna want to miss a video. So, subscribe if you're new, and if you're not new, if you're already subscribed, thank you guys so much for watching. You're awesome. We all know it, and as always, have an awesome day, and cue that music. By the way, if you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are going to love watching. All you have to do is just click on either one of them on the screen right here. And other than that, guys, again, have a great day and peace.